I got two for you. First one's a pretty quick one. Are you prepared to be talking about yourself as much as you will from now on to the summer?
No, hopefully that's what this is for, Stan. You guys can do it for me. So, but there's a lot of stuff coming up that's very exciting. I think the talking aspect of it, the big thing is the speech up there in August. That's the one thing that I got to really get figured out. But hopefully everybody else can do all the talking, and I can just sit here and answer your guys' questions.
Yeah, that's what I figured you'd say. I wanted to ask about this. Was it you spent your entire career in Carolina? You'll be the first person to do that who has made the Pro Football Hall of Fame because obviously Julius Peppers spent some time in other places. Does that make it how much more special does it make it the fact that you stayed with the Panthers your entire career?
I think you look at Pep, and his career was substantially twice as long as mine. So I think that has something to do with it as well. But I think playing in Carolina couldn't have been in a better situation, from the people that were there, the city that was there, the guys that were on the team. I think I was very much a product of the people and the system in Carolina, and I think I was just very fortunate to be here the whole time. I loved it. I loved the guys. I loved the city. I loved the organization. Um, so to me, I think it's super cool. You don't have the opportunity in the NFL to play for the same team your whole career. And for me to have the opportunity to play in Carolina with such a great group of people was really special.
Great, thanks, man.
Hey, Luke, Chris Jenkins, congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, a little bit building off of what Alex just spoke about, been your whole career here in Carolina, and then since your career, you've still been very much implanted here at the organization and with the city. Can you elaborate just a little bit on what pull this organization has and this city has on you that makes it special for you?
Yeah, I love the organization, the people. I've got so many great friends that I made in the organization. And I got here, I turned 21 a week before the draft. So when I got down here, I was a I was a kid trying to figure everything out. And I think for me, there was a lot of younger people in the organization when I got in. I mean, Ryan Anderson was, you guys all know Ryan. Ryan's a couple years older than I am, and he was my point guy with all of you. And it was just, I was so lucky to have a guy that was around my age that was going through a lot of the same stuff. And Mike Anderson, his brother, was the same way. Greg Allman was one of our equipment guys that is still one of my really good friends to this day. I think that was a big important factor to me. I think early on was there was younger people in the building that were just good dudes. That obviously all the players, I talk about Greg and Thomas and Ryan and all those guys a lot, but I think the people pulled me in and kept me pulled in. And I love the city. There's a lot to do. The people that I'm closest with still live in Charlotte. I think there's plenty of opportunities for me outside of football. And then, like you said, I love the team. I love the organization. I've had so much fun being around it. I did the scouting for a year. That was super fun. And then the radio broadcast with Jake and Anish and Langdon and those guys and Balboni. And we have and our squad is so fun. I have such a great time with it, and I see no reason to leave. And also Sharon Thorsland, her and KB split the sideline duty. So I love the city. I love the organization. A lot of my best friends still live in Charlotte, and for me, it just makes the most sense.
And just a quick follow-up with that is, with you being in radio, we get to see you around a lot now, and I've seen you at countless places, and every time I see you, you're recognized and people speak to you, no matter the circumstance. And I've seen you in so many different places. You're still a very gracious and kind person during those times. How did that come about within you, or who influenced that kind of personality within you?
I think my parents. I mean, you grow up from such a young age. You're being around two great people that set the tone for your life. My parents were fantastic. They led by example, and what they said they did. So hey, be nice to people. That's all they ever did. Smile at people. That's what they did. You treat people how you want to be treated. That's all they ever did. And it wasn't, the rules in our house growing up weren't super complicated. Um, it was just be a good person. And it might seem like the hard thing to do in the moment, but in the long term, it usually always pays off for you. And um, I just think it's easier to be nice. I don't know. I feel like it's not that difficult. And then, I mean, Chris, let's be honest, man. Anytime I see people in the facility before the games, everyone wants to talk about football, and I like talking about football. So I feel like we're all kind of there for the same reason.
Thank you so much.
We'll go with Bill Oberon, followed by Vashti Hurt.
Hey, Luke, congratulations. I'll echo everybody's congratulations from here on out. I'm just curious, sort of piggybacking on Alex's point, how comfortable are you sort of facing your legacy in the game of football? Because it's never really something you've been comfortable talking about, and it feels like now is kind of a good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, honestly, since he asked that question, I've been kind of thinking about it a little bit. And I think the further away I've gotten from, I don't know, I guess was that last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever Super Bowl was, the cooler it's starting to kind of settle in. And I think I always talk about, like Drew, for example, I always talk about how normal it was to play him. Oh, we're playing the Saints and Drew Brees again. And as you get further away from the game, you realize how special it is to have the opportunity to have played against Drew as much as we did when we were in Carolina. And, dating back to when I was a rookie down in New Orleans, that Hall of Fame class walked out. I was at honors, the Hall of Fame class walked out on the stage, and you're like, man, that would be so cool to be up there. Look at those dudes. Those are all the guys that I watched growing up, and how special it is when the older guys walk up with their jackets on and welcome them all in. And then when I was growing up, it was still the knock on the door and the hotel room way back in the day. And then I remember watching Peps when they came and knocked on his door. And then you think about it, and then Pep was standing in my family room a couple weeks ago, and it's starting to settle in, like, this is